Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
Say this is another episode of Aussie Tech Heads, and you'd be right. Hi, welcome to another week, another show. Excellando. That's a word I just made up. Hey, how you doing, eh? It's good to be back. It's good to be in your speakers once again. This is, yes, another episode, and we're raring to go. The episode is brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au, Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. So go down there, have a look at all the little plans they got. If you need web hosting, check them out. All right, now to give us the lowdown, help me give you the lowdown for this week. We welcome William. Hello, William.
And good evening, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you. And what's been going on this week?
Yeah.
About that?
About that, a little bit more, maybe.
All right, good stuff. Working hard, I hope. Now,
always. Don't have a choice. Well, hardly working, but, same thing.
Now, look, a bit light on guests, but that doesn't matter because we've got a stack load of stories. And I think we're going to have to get cracking on with these stories. But I'll tell you what, the first story that's coming up is, I don't know, there's a fair bit to it. So this might take us a little while. But anyway, I suppose we better get that out of the way, hey, Will? We'll get the long story.
I guess so.
We'll get the long story out of the way. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this through the week or since it broke, but the Heartbleed virus. Have you heard about the Heartbleed?
I was actually just reading about that. It seems like it could potentially be a pretty major issue.
Yes, well, an encryption flaw called the Heartbleed bug is already being called one of the biggest security threats that the internet has ever known. The bug has affected many popular websites and services, Google, Facebook, all those sort of kind of things. I've got a list coming up later. Once you, the ones that you might use every day. Now, you could have been exposed. Your sensitive data could have been exposed with this bug. That you can't do nothing about it yourself because the flaw lives on the server that you're accessing, like the Gmail server or the Facebook server. Tons of major services, in fact, that use the Open SSL as a way to provide SSL TLS functionality. So
basically, OpenSSL is pretty much every server. Well, it's certainly every server I've ever accessed has always had a way to get in via OpenSSL. So
So out of the box, apparently, SSL is included with lots of versions of Linux, including Debian, SUSE, Red Hat, and Ubuntu. Two of the most popular projects for acting as web servers, Apache and Nginx. I can't even pronounce that. Nginx.
Apparently it's 9x, isn't it? Oh, no.
No, who knows? Now, just not apps. It's just not apps and services that control web pages. Lots of email services, instant messaging clients, network routers, and even printers can use the OpenSSL. OpenSSL runs on 66% of the web. That's it. 66% of the web. Cue the count. Audio. Now count them. Even if you don't ever see the OpenSSL or know what it stands for, chances are you interact with it several times a day. The interaction can be as simple as entering a password for an email account or as complex as sending a private message or photo or even filling in your taxes. So this thing is potentially a massive flaw. OpenSSL is a major part of the modern internet. It's if OpenSSL has a flaw, if that flaw meant those secret keys between you and the server were suddenly accessible by someone else, if the flaw meant that someone could secretly gain access to your key the server has, make a copy for themselves and eavesdrop on everything you say to that server, what if that flaw was impossible to detect? Well, this is what apparently we are up against. The worst part of it is that the vulnerability actually has been around since December 2011. Lots of software packages started using the vulnerable version of OpenSSL in May 2012. So for 2 years, any app, website, bank, or private messaging app that uses OpenSSL has been vulnerable. It's important to note. Oh, who's this?
Going off.
I know. There's messages going everywhere. Excuse the interruption. It's important to note that not every web server application or OpenSSL, as it uses SSL. Oh, it's too much of a mouthful.
What are you talking about?
Not all web server applications using OpenSSL as its SSL/TLS implementation. All right, I know it's all going over your head. But anyway, to cut it all down to size, pretty much change your password for Facebook, Tumblr, Google, Yahoo, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Dropbox, LastPass, OkCupid, SoundCloud, Wonderlust. There's a bigger list from the Mashable.com site, which is there's a link in the show notes. LastPass. Now this is something that I've used, and just tonight. Now I think did I get a graphic for that? I thought I did. Yes, here we go. Now I did this LastPass. Now do you use LastPass, Will?
I try not to. No.
Why not?
I just don't. I have enough for trouble remembering the passwords I need to use things, not the password I need to use something.
Right. So, LastPass. Look, I use it. I reckon it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh, it's great. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. It's multi-platform and it's fantastic. I just have never bothered.
LastPass has got a security check tool, which I'm sure if you install it, you'll find it. I think it's under tools, then security check. Now, what it will do is after running the tool, you will get results shown, because this is my result here that I'm going to show you, to tell you where your email or password may have been compromised. So isn't that interesting? So I ran the tool, and the security or the places where my password has been listed on the internet appears right here. And you might not be able to read that, but anyway, it's apparently my email address was part of that Adobe flaw, or the Adobe stealing that happened last year, I think it was. And so that's pretty good. So the LastPass will tell you what you need to do there. But look, go to make sure I did. Look what I did. I changed my LastPass password. I changed my Gmail password. And I think that's about really all that I've done. I haven't changed Facebook yet, but I don't know. I might. But,
Facebook actually sent me a thing saying change the password. So
yeah, right. It's better to be safe than sorry. I think that's what Google was pretty much saying.
It's funny actually. I changed it back to I changed it to a password I used to use, but I didn't realize it at the time that it was actually an old password that I'd already previously used. And Facebook goes, "I've already used that password." I'm like, I have. I didn't even know I knew that password to use it.
Yeah. Do you are you the type of person like me? I increment my passwords just with a number. So
either a number or you change a letter. Yeah, and it's like, but I'm sure this is the first time I've got to that bit.
Yeah. So, So I don't know. So I would be changing my password if I were you guys, especially email password, because the email password. Oh, there she is.
Do you remember the net back
net.
in the 90s?
I do.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I think she was onto something back then. I think they had an open SSH.
Oh, really?
Issue back then.
She was onto something, wasn't she? Yeah. So So change your thing. Look, there's a lot of write up. You're going to probably hear a lot more about it over the coming week, because apparently it's been around for so long. But now that it's out in the open, all the little hack void droids and scripties or whatever you want to call them, they're all probably going to be
script kiddies.
Yeah, they're all probably going to be charging in, trying to get some action.
Quite often what happens. The vulnerability can exist for a long time, but it's only once it hits a great enough volume for it to become a widespread issue for people to sort of take advantage of it. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I've just had a note in the lounge from Rennie there. No use changing password till the sites update their certificates. Well, this is true. Most of the sites have performed patches, and if you go to that Mashable link that's in the show notes, there is a list of the most favoured sites out there, including the social media, the email sites like the LastPass, the LinkedIn, all that sort of stuff, and it'll tell you if the service is vulnerable, if there is a patch, and if it's been applied, and should you change your password. So they're obviously on top of it most of the time, on top of it. So like the Google, I know for sure has done the patch, but they say you didn't really need to change passwords, but it's a good idea too anyway.
No, I don't think they were running a standard rendition of the software anyway. I would imagine theirs would have been slightly customized, knowing Google.
Okay, so I think that's about it. You got anything more to say on that one, Will?
No, not for that. It's and there's a lot of people are writing about it. Like it's on news.com.au, it's on New York Times, on Mashable. It's
everywhere.
It's all over the place. So it's definitely my only concern is this story I'm reading from news.com.au is actually it's not techie enough for a tech head or a geek or whatever you want to call it to appreciate it, but it's too in depth and too techie for the average reader who doesn't know a lot about computers to understand it. So it's sort of it's a really bad sort of way of writing. I think it's you're not people who are interested in it have lost interest in it, and people who don't know anything about it have also lost interest in it. So
yeah, well, we just spoke about it for 10 minutes. I think I've lost interest in it too. I just change your password, peeps. Change your password.
Not two peeps, but
Yeah.
Well, you could, I guess, but yeah.
Well, you could. All right. So let's come back to. We'll go. We'll do. We'll just come in with let's do a little Aussie Tech Radio ad, and we'll come to you, Will, for a story. Don't forget the AussieTechRadio.com. A new show this week joined us. The Joomla Beat podcast. That's right. And you listen for that. Or go to the iTunes and download it if you want to. Or go to the website. Apparently it's at joomlabe.at. So go and listen to that. If you're into web page building and Joomlas and all this sort of stuff, go and listen to that. It's very good. It is very, very good. It gives you the heads up on a lot of issues that are current and little extensions and stuff that you might like to implement. So have a listen to that, and that can be found on the AussieTechRadio.com. Now that's a 24/7 Shoutcast server, so you just use your Shoutcast app or whatever other means you have by playing Shoutcast things, and go and listen to it. Download it, or it'll stream down to your phone, and see what's going on. All right. Will, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, you know how we got to the point now. What are we? Was it 8th of this month or 8th of next month where XP is
this month
being weaned off us, and some of us aren't overly happy about that, myself in particular, because I have things like an Asus PC, which are designed purely to run XP. They won't run anything that's heavier than that. So really my only option was to either run an unpatched XP, which, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's no big deal. It's only a media server. Or to go to Linux, which I have run Linux on it before. It runs quite fine, but it's not really the experience I wanted. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I might just throw it in the cupboard and forget about the thing. It's, worthless now. It's not worth the time of day, basically. But I had forgotten that Google comes to save the day again. Google has offered refuge to XP users. Basically, they have opened up their Chromium OS, which is on all the Chromebooks. It's now an open source sort of rendition, and they've got things like you can buy Chromebooks for businesses, get $100 off, get $200 off if you use VMware, things like that. But they've actually released, or are in the process of releasing, the source code and certain renditions of the software to use. And one of these is compatible with the Asus EPC 900, which is the one I have.
Right.
Now, Chromium's designed based primarily to be effectively, if you use Chrome browser, I guess Chrome OS basically is like that with built-in apps. For the most part, that's what it's designed to do. It does have a few other bits and pieces that, you can do Control-Alt-T, for example, to go to the terminal window. You can do a few things like that. But I'm thinking, well, 90% of the stuff I would use that for in that situation would be web browsing anyway. It's powerful enough to play 720p videos off YouTube. It loads all the websites I ever want to throw at it. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. So in the next week or two, I'll actually probably, either next week or the week after when I'm on holidays, if I get time, you just stick it onto a 2 gig thumb drive, throw it on the side and install it. So
nice.
I'm going to stick that on that, and
Mm.
it'd be great because it's nice. It's fairly small, compact. It doesn't take up any room. You can throw it solid state hard drive, so you can chuck it in the backpack. You can do whatever you want with the thing. It's got the battery lasts, if you're just web browsing using Wi-Fi, you can get 15, 20 hours out of the battery.
Yeah, right. That's all right.
So it stays for a week on standby in the backpack. So, and it runs off 12 volt, so you can plug it into a cigarette socket and plug it in your car to charge it. So it's sort of the perfect travel laptop if you want something a bit bigger than a tablet, a bit easy to type on if you want to do emails and things like that. It's great for that. So kind of looking forward to that, actually. Now gives me an excuse to do something constructive with the little thing instead of just shoving it in the corner.
So now, talking about your battery and the battery life, have you seen the smartphone charging the battery in 26 seconds?
Yes, with the... where is that story? Don't tell me I closed it by mistake. Yeah, that's awesome, that one. I was reading that today.
Yeah, so there's the small... Whoa, hang on. We'll turn that audio down a bit. The small external battery was attached to a Samsung Galaxy S4 and was fully charged from empty in 26 seconds. StoreDot, who has created this device, hopes to shrink the battery down enough to be integrated into devices such as smartphones. However, the company predicts that it will be at least 3 years before the battery is commercially ready, and it's expected to cost 30% to 40% more than existing batteries. Now, this is according to the BBC. The batteries... Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, the batteries are created using a new material made out of the self-assembling nanocrystals uncovered via research into the use of chains of amino acids called peptides to battle Alzheimer's disease. Maybe the sharks had something to do with that. They're into peptides. Now, this is a good little thing, isn't it? 26 seconds, Will.
Yeah, they didn't mention on that story, obviously. I know where you found it. If you go to batterycentralbrisbane.com.au, it's one of my leading stories.
There you go.
Yeah, see? I know those things. I'm on top of the ball, and I put that up yesterday.
Ooh. Oh, look at all those stories going up, Will. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, they're going off. But yeah, basically, the other thing that they sort of didn't mention in that story is wasn't the standard battery in the Galaxy either. It was actually, so don't be confused. You can't charge your standard battery in 26 seconds. It will explode. They had the whole thing was a special battery, they weren't just charging the battery inside the phone.
That's right. Yes.
But it's pretty awesome. There was a story actually also on might be on our Facebook page I put up a few weeks ago about nano batteries, a new way of making lithium batteries that don't explode. The same sort of thing. They're using a lot more organic material in them now. So it's sort of, and there's another one there that runs on salt water. So it was sort of coming back, that whole circle thing, coming back to trying to stop throwing more chemicals at it and throw more organic stuff at it, because organic, there's an abundance of power in nature, so why not use it,
Yeah, well,
it's funny, they were saying, yes, okay, we might have it in 3 years' time. It's going to have a higher shelf life. It's going to last a lot longer. But the way this story reads is it's going to come with a 12-month warranty, but it won't be available for 3 years.
Yeah, they've got to refine it. Everything needs to be refined. I can understand that.
I don't mind carrying around an old Walkman with me.
Yeah, no, you don't want
in your back pocket, you wouldn't have any battery problems, would you?
Well, no, you chuck it in the cupboard for a rainy day. Now, just before you touched on XP, and yes, XP has Microsoft has officially ended support for the Windows XP, issuing its last security update for the operating system and its Office 2003 suite, officially sunsetting the software in perpetuity. So in its April 2014 Patch Tuesday round of security updates, Microsoft released 2 critical bulletins and 2 rated important. So obviously things are still going on with XP, and if you've still got it, you need to get off it. Except if you've got a little Raspberry Pi media server, where who cares? Now,
I don't know. See, people like my in-laws, their computer won't run anything else, so they have to stay on it. They're not going to fork out $500 to buy a new system just to use Facebook.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
so in blah, 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 blah. So what happened in the Patch Tuesday this week, which would be apparently for all intents and purposes the last one that Microsoft's going to issue, is Microsoft patches for Microsoft Word, Internet Explorer, and all versions of its operating system. In all, Microsoft repaired 11 vulnerabilities impacting its software. Embedded support for XP is available to organizations that can afford the premium service. Microsoft struck a multi-million euro deal with the Dutch national government to provide security updates on a regular basis. It has made similar support agreements with authorities in England and Australia. And some private sector firms have made arrangements to continue to receive security updates. And as we've spoken about before, ATMs that are running scaled-down embedded versions of Windows XP have until 2016 before the support is initially ended.
Good to see that Centrelink can keep running XP for the next few years then.
Yeah, well, I think are they still running it? I think they
They
are.
were last time I checked.
Do you poke your head around the corner, do you? Have a look.
Hey?
Do you poke
Yeah, I
your...
got Centrelink just down the road. I've got to buy my bread and milk somewhere.
Right. I didn't know they had a bakery in the office. Yeah.
They've done all sorts of things now. They're trying to keep people in there as long as they can, see?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be a busy office up there at Ippy, wouldn't it, Will?
I have never actually been to the Ipswich one. I dread to go anywhere near that place. Yeah, it was bad enough going to the Goodna one the day I was there. A guy got a 2 litre bottle of milk bottle of petrol tipped all over the counters and lit it. So, yeah.
Right. Nice work. Nice work. All right, so XP, so Will's still got a couple of versions hanging around. I am pretty proud to say I'm finished with XP. There's nothing around here. Hasn't been anything. No XP in my place for quite some time. Even the little tablets and little notebooks that came with XP, they've all got Windows 7 on them now. So they're all going mighty fine.
I can't put Windows 7 on my PC. It's only got a 4 gig hard drive.
Yeah, right. Well, there goes that idea. And I'll just tell you something quickly, something for nothing that I didn't know before today, was Office 365. It won't install on anything less than Windows 7. I didn't know that before.
Yep.
No, did you know that?
Yep.
How do you know so much, Will?
Because I tried it.
Good point.
I mean, I didn't know it until that point, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I tried too today, and it didn't work, did it? So there you go. No Office on Vista.
Apparently, there is a way to make it work on XP. You just run a compatibility thing.
Yes. Look, there was a story. I did have a story. I just said my story. So, well, I used that anecdote as a little fill-in, but now there's a story about it. Oh, well, bugger that then. Oh well. Let's go with, what are we up to, 21? So we'll go with nothing. We'll just go with one of your stories, Will.
Yeah, can do that.
We'll put you on, and I'll tell you when to go. You can go whenever you like.
Alrighty, so before we were talking about batteries and things like that, well, have you ever noticed how sometimes after you install certain apps on your phone, your battery life destroys itself? There was let me just see here. There was a story about a guy from a university who decided to. That's the wrong story. Where are we? Oh, damn it, that's the other one about the Facebook thing. So basically, they're saying that there's Scotty Lovelace was the guy who basically went through with his iPhone and plugged it into the developer systems and discovered that Facebook was the biggest culprit. It wasn't Facebook app itself, it was the location services in the back end. And what they were doing was they were trying to hit the GPS, they were trying to search the towers, find out where you were all the time, even when you weren't using the app. And his battery he had 12% battery life, and it actually jumped to 17% battery life when he disabled this location service, which he's never actually seen an app. He's never seen that happen before.
Yeah,
this
okay.
guy's a developer.
Yeah. Right.
So basically, he said, don't worry about uninstalling the Facebook app itself. It's not really that. It's the location thing. So he said, what you can do, and this is on an iPhone because it doesn't affect Androids because Android operating system is smart enough to know about it. But basically, on an iPhone, you can go to Settings, Privacy, Location Services, and there's a background app refresh there. And then you can go to Settings, General Background App Refresh, and Facebook will appear there. And then you can disable those apparently while you're not using the Facebook app. The Facebook app will still work, but it'll have the location part of it disabled. But he reckons it'll add ridiculous amounts of your battery life just by disabling those things. And I guess while we're talking about Facebook, The Messenger is the new Facebook. Facebook has been bugging me for ages.
I hate it.
Every time I use it, saying, hey, you need to install Messenger. Well, now you actually do, because starting in Europe, they're actually disabling the private chat function in the Facebook main app. So now you have to install the Messenger app. You don't have a choice if you want to continue to use private chat in Facebook.
Why is this necessary?
Well, partly I'd imagine so they could put more ads in there. Secondly, I would imagine it's possibly got something to do with what we're talking about, the battery life and the push notification side of it. This may be a more efficient way for it to handle that. So it might actually, in the long run, be beneficial for your device to have it. Although it's an extra app you do have to install, yes, it would only be a small app. It's only a glorified messenger service, and one of the messenger services will probably incorporate it at some point anyway. The one I run already incorporates my Facebook chat, my Google Hangout, and my SMS and my Twitter feed all in one thing anyway. So I would say it probably won't be long till that gets integrated. But yeah, it's going to be compulsory. So next time it says, do you want to install this messenger app? Just click yes, because you're going to have to do it the next few weeks anyway.
I don't like how the Facebook app, I'm not sure what it's like on the Android, but on the iPhone at least, I don't like how the Facebook app, you can't, you follow a link to an article and you can't enlarge the article. You can't click on the picture, say, and make it go landscape. It annoys me. It annoys me. It really does. I don't like it. Facebook.
I don't have it on my phone. I have it on my tablet, 7-inch tablet. And I don't have those problems on the tablet, so maybe it's a limitation of iOS. I don't know. I haven't really played with it enough to find out.
Yeah, or I don't know what it is, but it's certainly no good anyway. Because I hate the app. I just hate it. Look, I'm not a big fan of Facebook anyway. Like especially now that I think they're moving more and more towards, like say if you've got a page, well, unless the person who likes your pages goes the extra step and hovers over the like button and then clicks receive notifications, well, your notifications don't come up in their timeline unless you start paying money for all this sort of stuff. So I can see it. I can see it in my mind's eye and in the future. I can see this is the start of where Facebook starts to lose it. And I think
exactly.
I posted up on the Google Plus the other day, just recently. I just said I think I'm going to have to start, using this a little bit more because it's just I think this is where Facebook is just about to tip.
Well,
over.
I wonder if it's a matter of just throwing a bit more effort into it because. As you can see, that's the new Twitter layout, and that's the new Facebook layout. That's the new Twitter layout. That's the new Facebook layout.
Right.
So Twitter is updating their webpage to look exactly like Facebook.
Yes. But the thing that I don't like is like I know I know they've got to have revenue streams. I know all this sort of stuff, but I think it's also social media as well. It's also you got to decide on a revenue stream while you're also delivering a service.
Content,
yeah, that's right. But,
I mean, is Facebook heading the way of MySpace? I don't think so, but I think their push that people were using it in the social media standpoint from a business point of view, I think they're losing that side of it. I don't think it'll ever go away in terms of like MySpace just disappeared off the face of the earth, but I don't think that'll happen with Facebook. It'll stay more of a peer-to-peer sort of thing rather than a business-orientated sort of thing.
Didn't David Bowie or someone buy MySpace? Who bought MySpace? Timberlake.
Timberlake, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Timberlake. What's he doing? Nothing.
Well, MySpace now, if you want to find out, it's got back to what it was, which is a social media site for primarily music. If you want to find out stuff about bands and tour dates and promos and stuff like that, it's actually not a bad place to go. It has not necessarily mainstream bands, but a lot of the smaller bands use it now, and it actually is getting a decent workout. So,
but yeah, so look, look, I just don't like. I find Facebook completely cumbersome, even on the PC, and especially on the app. And yeah, I don't like it. So, just have to try and migrate across to the Google Plus a bit more, I think, and try my hand at that.
It's funny that the people complaining about the white space on both sides of the Facebook, the new layout.
Right.
Well, it's perfect for me because I've got a monitor that's in portrait. So it's absolutely perfect. It fits on that monitor perfectly because it's upright. So I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm probably like the 1%, but I reckon it's great.
Now, oh look, we've got a couple of minutes here for this next story. Installing Windows 8.1 update. This has been released this week, and it's to keep your little machine up and running.
Oh, is this the update that you need to install the updates for the updates?
That's the updated story, yes. That's the update for the update. The Windows 8.1 update has arrived, yes. And Microsoft has warned users to install it quickly or risk missing out on future updates. The first major update to Windows 8.1 includes UI tweaks designed to make the OS even easier to use on desktop and laptops. For example, unless you're using it on a tablet, your machine will now boot into the desktop by default. Well, that's good. That's good. Now, Microsoft has warned that users must install Windows 8.1 update this month in order to keep getting security fixes. Now, in the Microsoft blog post, they've said failure to install this update will prevent Windows Update from patching your system with any further updates, starting with updates released in May 2014.
I told you it was the update for the updated updates.
Oh, can they get any more confusing? I don't think so. So, look, there's a bit more technical stuff for the Microsoft heads out there. You must have, in order to install the Windows 8.1 update, you'll have to have first installed the March update, which is KB2.
Oh, so you got to pre-install an update so you can install the update to install the updates.
If this update is not installed, the new update should show up in Windows Update.
I got something you can put update.
Yeah. I think they had something up their dates when they made this up. Jeez. Now, other changes include the addition of search and power icons to the start screen, contextual menus for tiles, and minimize and close button for apps. So additionally, it's now possible to pin modern style store apps to the taskbar in the desktop. Microsoft has a full description of change on its blog. So, well, I'm ready for it. I think I've updated it. I'm not sure. I think I have. I updated
you got all
today.
The updates for the update? Did you update the last update to make sure the new update updates?
Oh, look, I tell you, and to make things more confusing, now this is where it gets a bit crazy. Now, you go, even today, you go out to the Harvey Norman, JB's, or wherever you might want to go, your favourite, PC retailer, and you buy a computer, and guess what's on it? Windows 8. Then you go, how do I get Windows 8.1? Well, it's about a gig download, I must say, which will turn a lot of people off. But it doesn't appear, this update doesn't appear in Windows Update. You've got to go to the store. You've got to go to the Microsoft store to get the update. This is the first and only one. You've got to get out of the store, and then we're all reverting back to the normal way. What?
Well, I mean, Windows 7 has a similar thing where you've got to get it because I did a reinstall of 7 for the first time in ages, and so I reinstalled it on the last week, and I forgot that it installs, I don't know, 30 or something updates, and then it says you must install the update manager to install the rest of the updates.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Okay,
But
so you install this update manager, and then like another 400 updates all appear at the same time. It's like, well, why don't you just install that as part of the updates? Why do you have to tell me I have to manually install it if it's the only way I can install the following updates? Like,
and sometimes you get update error, can't install like 6 updates, and you scratch your head. Then you might kick something. You kick the cat, and then you go Googling the error code, and you scratch your head a little bit more. You know what? I'm just going to reboot this. So you reboot it, it fixes it. Why can't it say, please reboot this machine if you have an error? And then
now I love the fact
poor
that
cat's guts. Yeah,
I love the fact that Windows is still the only operating system that after every time you do something, you have to restart it. Even to install the Microsoft LifeCam, which is their own camera on their own system.
Yes.
No, you've still got to restart Windows. But I've just finished setting everything up. I don't want to restart it yet. I've got 3 more updates. I don't want to restart it 4 times. No, you have to.
Well, I don't.
Fine.
I don't. I try and install as much as I can before I do a restart.
Sometimes, I notice they're getting tricky though. They'll go, there's still a setup, there's still an installation in progress. You have to restart, and
it's like a little balancing act that you. Where am I? It's like a little balancing act.
How much can I put on before it
Yeah, before I've got too many updates, and when I do restart, it's just going to go.
It's going to freak out at me.
That's right.
Yep,
But yeah,
exactly.
it's pretty crazy, these updates. So, but I just can't see that the consumer, the normal mum and dad, brings home a computer with Windows 8 on it. They're not going to a Microsoft store to do the update.
No.
So,
And
yeah.
given that, how long's that computer been sitting in the store, and what's on it is what on it even going to let you do the updates in the first place? Like, if this is only available for this month, and after that you're not going to be able to get it again, according to that article.
Because you can you can only update to 8.1 through the store if you've already got all the updates for 8 updated. It's rubbish.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then so I buy a computer next month. Well, I can't update to the new version because it was only available this month. Huh?
Yeah, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. All right.
On the ball, Microsoft, on the ball.
Yeah, so I think with that, I'm pretty sure hopefully we're all updated. All right, save.
Oh, dear.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's stupid. Like, who thinks that? Let's design an update that you can only use once for 1 month, and after that, too bad if you haven't got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's bloody insanity. But anyway, I hope everyone's got all that. Did everyone get all that about the updates?
Oh, I'm just confused as hell.
I think I've got it, just.
I'm going to stick with Windows 7, thanks.
All right, okay. Now, actually, I had one more story about that. Do you reckon we could span it across into this segment? Yeah, okay. Where's me mouse? So there's someone trying to reach you from a hole.
What? They're trying to do what through my what?
Just your background. All right.
Oh.
Now, okay.
I'm not even looking at that. I have no idea.
Do you believe we're all updated out? Well, no, we're not, because you thought we were, but we're not. I'm not finished yet. One more. This just to throw the spanner into the works, but it won't involve you guys too much. But Microsoft has suspended the Windows 8.1 update for business users on its Windows server update server because of a bug. The flaw interferes with the Windows Server update server, stopping Windows 8.1 from scanning the corporate update servers for the new updates.
So the people who are on the cutting edge who want the updates can't get the updates because the update server hasn't been updated.
Yes, for admins who have already installed Windows 8.1 update, Microsoft revealed a workaround to get the machine scanning the Windows Server update server again. A solution will likely arrive quickly.
I think it was an email saying, just install Linux and be done with it.
As Microsoft has warned all Windows 8.1 users that they must install the update. Oh my God.
Hey, didn't they just say you can't install the update? Or are they talking about a different update you need before you can install the update?
Yeah, it's out of control. Will, please steer this boat into a different direction.
All right. Well, we've been talking about Microsoft and giving them a hard time. It's okay, because now it's my turn to give Apple a hard time. Apple admits problems with its iPhone and leaked documents. Now, this has part of it's Apple's own fault because they started the lawsuit against
Samsung
about things like Samsung copying the iPhone and violated its patents and blah, 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 blah. So these documents have been disclosed during the trial, and basically they're saying that Apple's considering making a larger smartphone in the style of Samsung phones. The slides below were shown an internal Apple meeting on April 2013. The first one shows that the iPhone sales are quickly decelerating. As you can see in that growth chart there, 2009, they're 107% above projected. And first quarter 3, 2013, they were 8% below, above projected, but basically 100% below when they first started selling them. So they've outstayed their welcome there. And it turns out that if you look at this other chart here, according to this chart here, consumers want the market grew by 228 million units. And consumers want phones under $300 with larger than a 4-inch screen. And so that doesn't fit the iPhone either. So basically, larger screen iPhones was something that Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was famously and
Adamantly.
That's it. Against in 2010, Jobs installed a rival's phone, saying you can't get your hand around it, and that no one's going to buy a phone that's just too big. So basically, yeah, by sticking to that motto, they've basically outmarketed themselves.
No, well, I like the size of the iPhone. Oh, I think we discussed this last.
You're one of the 8% of people who bought it.
Well, yeah, no. Look now, Will. I was going to put in an anti-Android one tonight, but I thought no, I'll be nice to you. And now look,
I wasn't anti-Apple. Apple released those statistics. That's all Apple's fault. That one.
Oh well, tell you something good then. Aussie firm is to roll out Apple's iBeacon in 45 shopping centres.
I've got a beacon for you. You can get your eyes on that.
Do you know what the iBeacon is? It's the thing that looks like that. This little dome-shaped thing.
Cockroach turd. Yeah, great.
Now it's the now who's bringing this in? It's the DC4G. That's the name of the company. It's a great company. A local proximity marketing specialist company. Couldn't they? What DC4G? Are they serious? The company has announced the sensors will be installed in 45 shopping centres where it operates free Wi-Fi services, the first being Mount Omni Shopping Centre in Queensland. Good on you, Mount Omni. I wonder...
Oh, that's what that was about. Okay.
Where's
Mount
Omni?
They had a very cryptic ad on the radio and it didn't make any sense, and it still only makes a bit more sense now.
Where's Mount Omni? Is that near you?
Yeah, about 15 minutes from me. It's near Indooroopilly. It's sort of one of the major shopping hubs before you get into Brisbane.
Okay. The sensors are small dome-shaped pieces or devices about the size of 250 sensors pieces. Now, shoppers download a pass to their phone, and special offers are triggered when shoppers are near the sensors. The offers appear as notifications on the phone screen. The system relies on Apple's iBeacon system. This transmits via Bluetooth, low energy, which transmits 2.4 gigahertz signals up to 200 feet away, according to the Estimote website. So yeah, there you go.
That's that whole what's that? I got to complete that movie with the screen and the thing and the eyes tracker. Tom Cruise, where every time you're walking down the street, things are tracking and then they're throwing ads at you.
Matrix?
No. He uses that big computer screen.
Oh, yeah, he does the big thing.
What was that? I got a complete blank.
Yeah,
but yeah, that one. It's the same deal as that. You're walking down and ads are getting thrown at you. Yeah, that's a handy invention. Yeah,
well,
people are going to love that.
Yeah, well, this isn't a new thing. Remember, they've had Bluetooth proximity streaming before. Never really took off. Maybe, I don't know why. Maybe this will be a more stable sort of a
the biggest problem with it is, well, maybe with the new Bluetooth standard, it's probably not as big a deal. With the old Bluetooth standard, the biggest problem was the limitation on the bandwidth and the speed of Bluetooth. Plus, also, it used to interfere if people were actually using like a Bluetooth headset at the time. It used to interfere with that. So that's probably maybe been overcome now.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah. All right.
I mean, it'd be a good idea in a store. Like if you had a store, say you've got a small goods store, for example, walking down the aisle and you go past certain things, you can go, okay, this aisle's got this much in it. Here's the prices. I can see it would be handy for stuff, promotional material and things like that, but just in a general walk through a shopping centre and get stuff thrown at you already.
No good? No.
Annoying. Right. I mean, it won't take much to turn your Bluetooth off, I suppose.
No. All right. So, save. Now, where are we? 40. I can do Facebook now.
I got a couple of quickies.
Oh, yeah, I got a couple more. I've got another 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no, I normally do Facebook at the end, but I'll do it now. Just because, just mixing it up, Will, keeping it real.
Keeping it loose.
Hey. All right. Don't forget our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads. And also Twitter at twitter.com/Aussie Tech Heads or at Aussie Tech Heads or whatever takes your fancy. What's on the Facebook page? Well, every day just about, you might get a free iOS app that normally you would have to pay for. And that day it's free. So go ahead and download it. You'll be so excited. Also,
you're so excited you can't talk.
That's right. And when Warlock's around, when Jace is around, he does the Android ones. He's on his Easter break. So good on you, Jace. Hope you're having fun, whatever you're doing. Playing Lego, if I see right on his Facebook page. Yeah, so follow us on the Facebook. So what you got to do, don't forget, you got to like us on the Facebook page, hover over, make sure, or if you haven't made sure, go back and make sure, hover over the like button, and then fall down to receive notifications. All right. Will's got a picture of it. There it is.
What have we got up there? The Titanic. There you go. It's a free app of the day. So you can go I don't have the like button because I'm admin, but yeah, that's our Facebook page. So there we go. Hey, he's in my background at the moment. There we go. That was well done.
There's been a couple of good ones through the week, isn't there? Very good. Very good. All right, Will, shoot us some more.
Okay, so, we have... let me just change cameras for a second because everything just locked up for a split second. Alrighty, so Tony Abbott, we all love him. Well, okay, we all know him. He tried to do a serious photo. Basically, this was him on the phone to when they were looking for the MH30 flight, MH370 flight. He's supposedly on the phone to them with fantastic news, although he never actually revealed what the news was at the time. But it inadvertently sparked an entire subculture of memes. So basically, it's all these people who are like, I'm here now, sorry for the delay, just got an update, and, Tony Abbott, me too, there's all sorts of, thanks for the update, there's, okay, now I'm connected.
I'll tell you, what's happening is, for those on the podcast, Will is just going through scrolling through a myriad of people with differing things, not just a phone. There's a girl with a boot up to her ears and a cat as a phone, imitating Tony Abbott's serious phone call message taking photograph that he posed for. So yeah, there's a dog.
So I thought that was pretty neat. This one, I like this one here. You go ahead, Tony. Yep, Malcolm's got Mill set up with a new fandangled electric broadband apparatus of his. It's a good old tin can telephone. So
good stuff.
So yeah,
where's that, Will? What webpage? What's the URL? Is it the easy one?
This one's actually on news.com.au. Just search for Tony Abbott mocked, and you'll find that one. It's actually the second time it's happened to him, so he's doing well.
I think that's I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't be going. That's a bad thing. I'd be taking a bit of pride in that, wouldn't you?
Myself, yeah. I mean, I would, but hey, any publicity is good publicity as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's right.
Bots are viewers too.
Yeah, maybe I'll do do one for the Facebook page. but not with a phone. I'll think of something.
Use your TARDIS there behind you.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah. Hello, police. All right.
You'd be in trouble if someone answered.
Well, you would be. Now, okay. Have you heard of this thing? Here's something that caught my attention. Spiders. Now, who's scared of spiders? There's an invasion at the Mazda factory. Petrol sniffing spiders. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this, Will.
I got some of them down the road from me.
Not rock spiders. Petrol sniffing spiders have forced Mazda to issue a voluntary recall notice so it can apply a software fix to its cars. The yellow sack spider. I hate having yellow sack spiders. The yellow sack spider is attached to is attracted to the smell of petrol and will weave its web in engines, causing a blockage and build-up of pressure. A software update will be applied to recalled cars to monitor the pressure and warn drivers of any damage. Mazda said it was unaware of any fires being started due to the vulnerability, but it has been a problem that has plagued the company since 2009. Can you believe it? Specifically, it is Mazda.
No.
I know. It is Mazda 6s from the 2010-2012 range that are covered by the recall. The yellow sack spider is native. Here it is again. The yellow sack spider is native to Northern America. There is an Australian arachnid known as the yellow night-stalking sack spider.
Of course.
But it is unknown whether the local breed has the same taste for petrol. There you go. The yellow sack spider, eh? What?
I think that I don't even know.
It's lost for words. you haven't seen any yellow sac spiders in your petrol tank?
There's a diesel bug, and people with diesels can be affected by a diesel bug. It's a living organism that actually grows in the diesel and actually spreads through your tank and can destroy your diesel. I knew about that. I was unaware that anything could survive. Probably you'll find people they're only putting like half a tank of fuel in their car, and that's probably what's happening. If you actually filled your tank up once in a while, you probably wouldn't have that problem.
No, you'd flush them through the wherevers. Do they have carburetors anymore?
It.
No, fuel injecting.
I've had carbies for 30 years, dude. Well, 20 years. Isn't it?
Fuel injectors. You've got a carby on your car, haven't you?
My old patrol did, but I don't have that anymore. I sold that.
So there you go. Good on the yellow sack. Love it. Now, someone in the PA, our friend in the chat room, he's reminded me of the. Oh, thank you, Will. Of the new PayPal here device. Now, have a look at this. This is the new device, well, which actually isn't shown there, but the old device, the old swiper, is out.
That's the old one, yeah. They don't actually show the new one on their website. Go figure.
No, the old one is out, and the new one is like a separate handheld Bluetoothy device where you can insert your card into it, and also swipe, I believe. But it's coming soon for people who love PayPal here. It's
But apparently not me. They sent me a email the other day saying, "Oh, we're glad you enjoyed your old device so much." I'm like, huh? Anyway. And they never sent it to me, guys, but that's another story. So we're going to send you the new one, just as, because you're a beta tester and you test it right back from the start and we think it's going to be great. So here you have the new one. All right, cool. It should be here on this date. Yep, no worries. They sent me the PIN. They sent me the paperwork. They sent me everything I needed. No, still not available. I rang them up and they said, "Oh, no, you're not eligible because you didn't use the old one." So hang on, I didn't use the old one because I didn't get the old one. Our records say you got it but never used it.
Well, look, I'm just playing the a YouTube demo of the PayPal here now. Thanks, PA. And look, it's gone off the charts with popularity. It's been watched by 1,500 viewers.
I think, I mean, there's no surprise there, to be honest. Like, it was always going to happen. It was always going to be something that was going to be popular, because banks are charging ridiculous. Well, some banks are charging ridiculous amounts for FPOS machines. I know ANZ charges stupid amounts for ours. And this is a good way to sort of be not tied to a bank. Like, they can go into your PayPal account, you can put it wherever you want, you can redistribute it, you can do whatever you want. So, I mean, it's a great thing, and I love the old one just as much. But
yeah, look, this new one I think is going to be great. I can't wait to get it. Because it was a bit fumbly, to put it in your phone and people going, "What are you putting that in your phone for? Are you sucking out my details?" All this sort of rubbish. But if you stick it in a machine, they could probably do more than sticking something in your phone, probably suck out more stuff. Well, they don't care.
It's got PayPal on it, so you got to trust it.
That's right. You could be doing the skimming or anything in there. But
that's right.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's the PayPal here. So good work. What else, Will? What else is...
Alrighty, well, on a bit of a lighthearted story, we all know how smart kids are and doing things that we can't do. This 5-year-old kid, Christopher von Hasselhofer, I don't know.
That's easy for you to say.
Hey?
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Basically found a massive Xbox security flaw. A 5-year-old San Diego boy outwitted the sharpest minds from Microsoft. He found a backdoor into the Xbox. He managed to log onto his father's Xbox Live account. When a password login screen appeared, he simply hit the space button a few times to press enter.
Sweet.
He told them just after Christmas his son started playing games that he supposedly couldn't access. Davis, who worked in the computer security, says he reported issues to Microsoft, which fixed the bug and recently listed Christopher as its website as a security researcher. Wow. Christopher's response, "I'm going to be famous." A Microsoft spokesman didn't immediately return our call. It's not Christopher's first triumph. As 1-year-old, he bypassed a mobile phone toddler lock by holding down the home button. So watch out for this kid in a few years' time. He'll be, he'll be investigating nuclear warhead security breaches and all sorts of things, I think.
So Microsoft, you're on fire.
Whoa. That was cool.
Microsoft. What is happening here, and why Will is in so many precarious predicaments tonight? He's got his green screen on in the background there, and what are you playing in it? The Temple of Doom or something?
Yeah, or one of the I don't actually know which one it is at this point. Yeah, Indiana Jones, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's the Temple of Doom.
Indiana Jones, and at the moment there's a big fireball coming, and it looks like he's getting consumed. But anyway, getting back to the serious stuff, the Xbox Kid. Yes, look, they take it very seriously, as Microsoft said in their blog. They actually said we take security seriously at Xbox and fix the issue as soon as we learned about it.
Because we never thought about pressing a space bar.
No, but now tell me, if you found such you would call this a serious security flaw, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Now, what do you reckon it's worth? Like to be
it's
to
worth
Microsoft?
much more to a hacker than it is to Microsoft. Put it that way.
So the reward that little Christos got was what do you reckon they give him?
I actually don't know because I didn't know he got one.
He did. The company gave him 4 free
An Xbox?
games. No, not even an Xbox.
$200.
$50, and a year-long subscription to Xbox Live. A whole year.
Wow!
Isn't that awesome?
I would have had highest dibs on the closest hackers and gone, hey, you better top it, otherwise watch out.
Yeah, like I would like that's like to a serious easy flaw like that. Like, okay, someone like you look there in the show notes, you'll find that there's a link to Microsoft's got a page with all the security flaw identifiers listed, and and if you identify a flaw, you get your name up there. So like some of the flaws are, you plug this in here, you turn this here while you stand on one hand and with your leg out here while you touch the door handle, sort of thing. Well, that's obscure, but this thing's pretty easy. And to get $50 on an Xbox Live subscription, why not give the kid like a rare edition of an Xbox or something, or make up a special edition of Xbox for security flaw finders of a security flaw finder. Sounds like a position, at a department store.
Oh,
but you know what I mean? A security flaw.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's look, it just shows you how out of touch Microsoft really are. I mean, could you imagine if that was, either the Wii or even if like someone like say Google had a console out. I mean, could you imagine if a flaw like that was found? Not only would it never touch a media, it would be contained. They would basically lock that kid into a contract for life and offer him unlimited funds just so nobody found out how stupid they were. Because if something like that got out and, it's just a matter of pressing a space bar, well, you're pretty much, up the creek without a paddle, because if your main business is telling everybody how secure you are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is right. And look, Rennie in the lounge, he's just told us that apparently he's supposed to be 13 before he can have a Microsoft Xbox Live account. So,
it was his dad's account that he hacked.
Yeah, so
and his dad was a security expert, so.
Yeah, so there you go. So maybe the dad had something to do with that and just didn't.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The dad just didn't want the accolades. All right. Save. Let's come back. Let's come back for the last 10 minutes. All right, I got a couple left. You probably got a couple.
Yeah, I got a couple I can.
Actually, I've only got one
fill.
left.
I got
two left.
Two. Yeah.
2. Chew for 22. All right, so let's do. What's this lounge I keep talking about, you might ask? Well, the lounge is where you go to watch us record the show live. Yes, video and everything. You can see our ugly mugs, faces for radio, but I'll tell you, there is a video, so look out. Yes, so if you want to do that, just go to the aussietechheads.com.au /podcast website, and there'll be a link up the top there somewhere, watch us live or something like that, and come and join us in the lounge like so many have tonight. Rennie, PA, Milo, I saw some free freak there or something before, so there you go.
Freebase, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So hello to the lounge. All right, Will, let's get into the last 10 minutes with one of yours, please.
Alrighty, well, numbers, we all know about numbers anyway. And for years, there's been a controversy. What's your favourite number? What's, what do you like? What's good? What's bad? What's indifferent? Well, a British maths blogger asked people to vote for their favourite number. He had more than 44,000 responses. And out of those 44,000, 7 was the preferred number of choice. Don't know why. Maybe it's because it's considered a lucky number. It's all over Vegas. It's it's the most common roll of 2 dice. Maybe it's because it's the only number between 2 and 10 that's neither a multiple nor a factor of any other number. Maybe it's because it's the number of visible planets in the sky. Who knows? But 7 turns out to be the number. For the record, number 3 was the second most popular, followed by number 8.
Right.
The number 8 in Chinese sounds a lot like the word for prosperity, which is why the Beijing Olympics started at 8 p.m. on the 8th of the 8th, 2008.
Yeah, okay.
As for unlucky number 13, it came in 6th on the survey. So many people consider it a curse. Others clearly like it. For me, 13 is my favourite number. I've always liked 13.
Yeah, okay.
Or 42, but that's a bit more philosophical.
Right. Or I thought for some
What's
reason.
that word? Philosophical.
For some
That's
reason,
a word, isn't it?
I don't know. Philosophy. I don't know.
See,
just go and floss every night after tea, and you'll be right. So yeah, I don't know. Lucky number. I always thought you had to pick one between 1 and 9, or 1 and 10. But yeah, I have to go with 7. Mine was 7, and also probably next would be number 8, because do you want to know my silly reason why for number 8?
Number 8.
Because when you write it digitally, you can make any other number out of it.
Yes. It's
pretty weird.
I knew that from working in the bottle shops. You always get the blank signs, and they've just got 3. They got 4 8s, and you're supposed to. Well, my camera went away. Okay, cool. That was confusing. And you're supposed to make any numbers you want out of it. So you're correct, sir.
Yeah. All right. Now
I'm getting dizzy. Will you stop that?
Sorry. For those on the video, that was just someone, PA sent me a video, so I don't know why. But
quadcopter.
So I thought I'd just play a little bit. But anyway.
It's a quadcopter. Those things are absolutely awesome. Actually, speaking of which, there's new research on those. I don't have the story for it. It's just something I read the other day. There's actually, he's at 600 meters. Well, that's not bad. There's basically a thing now they're working on using to fly it just with thought, just with basically a helmet you wear with probes in it. So.
Right.
So that'd be pretty neat.
Well, the one that he sent us here is a DJI F550 RTF edition, climbed up to 2,000 feet.
Wow, that's actually really impressive. They've come a long way since the thing they showed off a few years ago.
Yeah, so that's all right. Now, talking of PA, now down in Canberra, PA, I think that's where he swims around in the winter. And how is Lake Burley Griffin going for you in the winter? Now, Canberra pay a parking app that you don't need tickets for anymore. So, where you go put your money in a parking meter and you get the ticket spits out and you go and put it on your windshield. Well, apparently in Canberra, they've got to pay the parking app that you don't need tickets anymore.
Yeah, they do that in Brisbane too.
Oh, okay. Well, with the app. I didn't know this.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Now,
I think it's only in trial at the moment, but yeah, they do it.
Motorists using government-owned car parks around Canberra won't have to display a paper ticket on their dashboard once the rollout of a new smartphone application is complete. The app records the owner's credit card details, number plate, and park location, and when fully implemented, promises to allow parking officers to check if payment has been made without a paper ticket. Excellent.
Yeah, I guess they're going to go that way because, you look now, they're getting rid of rego stickers in a lot of states. They're starting to ditch those, which would be fine if they'd remember to send you your stupid renewal before it's actually due. In Melbourne, they trialled it. Gee, when I was in Melbourne in 2000, they were trialling that. So the one thing I did like, and I've never seen it up here, although they possibly have it, was you used to be able to take your phone, SMS a vending machine, and you SMS the number on the vending machine and then whatever it was, and it'd spit it out. It'd charge it to your phone. So there's a lot of stuff like that I've seen trial years ago that had not taking hold. Although I know the university, I think it's the Griffith University up here, does something very similar with the near field communications that all the phones have in the back of them now.
Yeah,
you're given a tag on that. You're given a number, and then as you drive in, you swipe your NFC, and then it opens the boom gates and lets you know you're a student.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, late mail is because PA is in the lounge, as I said. He said that the parking thing failed. You still need a ticket, so there you go.
bugs.
I think that story did actually go on a bit more and said that could have been the case, but they are looking to have it all fixed up. But look, I'd never heard of that before. It's just something new. I thought I'd bring in because I'd never...
I mean, I know even when I was down in Melbourne, we used to have the M trains, which is the local the metro sort of thing, and they had the same thing. You could SMS that where you are and where you're going to, and it would charge it to your phone account, and it just gave you a SMS reply with a verification number. So if when the conductors come around, you just show them the number.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
So,
all right, what else, Will?
Alrighty, so as we're talking about things, favourites and polls and things like that, well, here's one that everybody loves dearly, was the good old-fashioned Comic Sans font. Now, as you know, everyone hates it. I mean, it's too casual according to statistics.
Oh, that's why I like
I don't mind it. It's good fun, but when you get resumes printed in it, you start to wonder. But an Aussie designer updates Comic Sans with Comic New font, spelled Neue, because you couldn't possibly spell it the correct way.
Neue.
Now, that's coming across to me very badly, so I don't know what the stream looks like, but I can't tell the difference between the Comic Sans and the Comic New.
No.
No. According to the Sydney-born designer Craig Wazinski, who is based in Japan, has released Comic New as a new style for those who desire a casual feeling in their script. Comic Sans was released by Microsoft in 1994, but was soon targeted by an uprising of font fans font fanatics, same difference, who complained about the too often pairing of casual font style with non-casual messages. So basically, the comic. So can you risk using Comic New instead? Rosinski is pitching it as more funky and less overly friendly. The new face is thinner, although the casual eye might not spot the difference.
Oh well, at half a pixel.
Now, I downloaded this and installed this in OpenOffice, and I put one letter. I used speaking of number 8, I actually used the number 8 because it's got a bit of everything in it.
Yep.
I used 8 and B, and I blew them up to full screen, and I put them side by side.
Yeah.
And on my 2 identically matched monitors, I used the built-in ruler and I measured both of them, and they're exactly the same.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but I can't tell the difference.
No, it's...
I'm not going to say they're the same because he says they're different, so I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah, I can't see the difference. It could be a touch or a tad or a bees, if you like, lighter. It's not as maybe bold, but geez, it's exactly the same. What does newy mean anyway? Is that? Can we get a definition for that?
It's because he probably couldn't spell. I don't know.
Well, he's Japanese, is he?
He's Australian. Well, he's Sydney born, so that explains it all.
EUE. Let's see if I can get a definition for this.
The early reaction from designers on Twitter seems positive, although not everybody's convinced. Vincent Conner, the designer of the original Comic Sans, gave his verdict. In his polite tweet, says the new Comic New should be more casual. In his not so polite tweets, he's a bit more expressive. I mean,
sometimes people who create fonts don't get the recognition they deserve. And sometimes they get too much. So let's move on. All right. Now, half a century ago, we've got a birthday. Yes, we have a birthday this week.
Is it me?
No.
You sure it's not me?
We're talking 50 years ago. So it's 50.
Sure it's not me? It feels like me.
Yeah, no, it's not. Oh, can people stop feeling Will? Because it's not him. Now, the system is a IBM mainframe. There we go. The first System 360 mainframe was unveiled on April 7, 1964, and its arrival marked a break with all general-purpose computers that came before it. The machines made it possible to upgrade the processors, but still keep using the same code and peripherals from earlier models. Oh, geez, are you serious? Serious? Can all the computers today take a note of that from IBM? Despite their age, mainframes are still in wide use today, says Barry... Oh, I love these names, eh? Heptonstall. Heptonstall. It sounds like, I don't know, you learned to drive the first time and you go, Heptonstall. Now he's a spokesman for IBM. I don't think people realise how often during the day they interact with a mainframe, he said. He said mainframes were behind many of the big information systems that keep the modern world humming and handled such things as airline reservations, cash machine withdrawals and credit card payments. The machines were very good at doing small-scale transactions such as adding or taking figures away from the bank balances over and over again. There you go. Our excitement, Will.
I'm just actually looking up the storage size on those old reel-to-reels because I'm not sure what sort of data storage they have. But back in 1956, that is a 5 meg hard drive being offloaded off that phone.
That's right. That's massive. That's as big as the flip door on the plane, which is, I don't know, for those who are not watching, it's probably what 4 to 5 people wide, and just as tall. And as tall as a person, 6 foot tall. Yeah.
I'm actually just trying to find the data storage on the tape drives because I'm just curious to know if it really was worth going to a 5 meg hard drive back in the day. Let's see. The old open reels, a 10.5-inch reel of 9-track tape used to hold, it doesn't say. What? Well, that's a bit rude. Then there was the Univac, then there was the IBM format of the... Wow. None of them have data storage capacity, though. They had a transfer rate of 7,000 characters per second, which is 7,000 bits, not bytes. So that's what's that? 0.7 of a byte, which is like, so that's 0.007 or something megasecond.
Wow. You want to put it into meg? Why don't you put it into gig while you're there?
No, I just had a few more zeros on. I'm just trying to think. Like, it would basically mean that to fill an old-fashioned 1.44 floppy drive would take, well, I don't know, a week.
Oh, I love the old days, eh? Love the old days. All right. Well, what do you got else, Will? Because we've got to get out of here.
Yeah, no, everything else can. Oh, there we go. 5 meg per on a 9-track tape. 5 megabytes per 2,400 feet of tape.
Wow.
So that's what's that divided by 3? So that's about 800 odd meters of tape to get 5 meg.
Sweet, lovely. Imagine that thing humming, in your bedroom.
Could you imagine trying to find that particular file you want? Just hold it and fast forward.
Well, it's not big enough to actually hold a file. Imagine trying to find that particular letter.
Well, hold it. Yeah, that letter you want.
The new
3 maths.
The newy font for A. Can we find that on that tape, please? Oh.
Apparently, well, as of a few years ago, there used to be still an old reel-to-reel active. One of the universities used to keep it running. You could actually access it.
Yeah, okay.
It was actually online and everything. You could go there.
I think we might have mentioned that. Yeah, I think we brought that up in one of the shows. Ooh. Now that wasn't me sitting on anything. Sorry, this is.
Are you sure?
This is Will and his backgrounds. Okay. Now, late news before we go. PA has just come back in with the difference between the sans serif and the Nui is 1 pixel. So there you go. You have it from the dog's mouth. That's the 1 pixel difference. All right, good stuff. All right, Will. That's it. So thanks for coming in.
Not a problem,
Now,
sir.
I'm not sure you're not here next week. Is this correct?
I will be here next week. I won't be here the week after.
Oh, good. Okay, because I was worried then. We're running out of people. So hopefully everyone's on holidays. Who takes Easter holidays these days? Well, obviously not me or Will now. So that's good. All right. So thanks, Will. We'll see you next time. And
see you later, sir.
And thanks for everyone who has downloaded, listened to us on the Phase FM or wherever you may have consumed us on the YouTube. You can find us at aussietechheads.com.au. Don't forget aussiemaxzone.com.au. And Aussie Maxzone's also video and audio through iTunes and YouTube as well, if you want.
And if you can't get enough of me, you can go to obsidianloft.com and check out our podcast that we do once a week on Minecraft and Minecraft-related ancillaries. So
now,
there you go.
You might have to spell Obsidian, please.
Obsidian, Obsidian, Obsidian Loft. It's actually a real thing. Go look it up.
Okay. All right. And look, I played my first Minecraft game last night. I jumped on the Will's server and had a hunt around, and my little bloke was in there, and so I ran up to him and killed him. And he loved it. He loved it. All right, guys, we've got to get out of here. So there's something else coming up after us, I would imagine. I don't know what. Probably silence. Okay. So we'll see you guys.
Black screen.
No, hope no blue screens. I'm over them. So see you next week. Okay. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.